All right, guys, let's get into it. Today we're going to be talking about award-winning or nominated films that we don't like. Ones where we just could not agree with the consensus, or at least the Academy Award voters or any of those award voters. Um, and we feel
Not
that
my
they're
Academy
just wrong.
Awards.
Yeah, they're not exactly. Not my hashtag. Not my Academy Awards.
Yeah.
But before we get to that, let's just run through one award-winning film from 20 years ago that film major like cinephiles don't think deserve to win Best Picture at the Academy Awards, and we disagree. And that
Yeah.
film is Gladiator.
Grinch. Oh no, sorry.
Now the Grinch lost. Jim Carrey unfortunately got snubbed that year. So did Ron Howard. It was a shame.
This is
Um,
so odd to me that over the years this movie has kind of become more of like a negative stain for a lot of people. It
Yeah,
just
not so
doesn't
much
make
with like the
sense.
not so much with like general film fans, um, but the fact that it was like a big budget like action epic in the year like 2000 to win Best Picture just like throws people off because it's like it's not considered like what an Academy Award like type of movie should be. If you look at like a lot of the movies around it, it
Mm.
just kind of sticks out as a um, anomaly, with the exception of like the Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. But I mean, Doug, I know you're a fucking huge fan of Maximus Decimus Meridius.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think the music's great. I think it's two fantastic performances. In Russell Crowe and Joaquin Phoenix. I think they both knock it out of the park. They're both kind of like got this Batman and Joker dynamic going on, and go toe to toe against each other. But I mean, I guess I get the criticism a little bit, but it's just such a fun movie that I don't care. This movie's kind of stood the test of time for me. I'll watch it whenever it's on TV just because it's super quotable and it's got two amazing performances for an action movie. I think the performances are way better than they needed to be.
Yeah,
Um,
how dare
and it's
it be a good movie and big budget, right? How dare
I
it
know, right?
have a
Like
compelling story
how it
and
was like
be beautifully shot?
a summer popcorn blockbuster and was well made.
Yeah. How dare you use your high budget to create a well-crafted movie? How
It's
fucking
basically
dare
like if
you?
anything comes out in before Q4, it's like considered like a no no.
Yeah.
Like you need to open like debut at a film festival, like either at Cannes or anything like from August on, and open wide like in Q4.
There has to be a considerable
Otherwise, you're
amount of
considered lowbrow.
it's like a considerable amount of turmoil. There's like a threshold that you have to go through in order to get your movie made to qualify for winning an award.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Tell us about your struggles. We don't give a shit about your movie. Tell us about all the struggles you went through before you started making this movie. It's a great movie.
But yeah, I mean, it's a hell of a movie. And even if film Twitter or whoever doesn't want to be a fan of this incredible Swords and Sandals epic from Ridley Scott, we still always will be. And I think this one, Doug, you mentioned, it's kind of held the test of time so far. I think that'll be the facts of life for a long time to come.
Yeah, because it didn't stand. I mean, the CGI hasn't aged as well, like most CGI, but that wasn't what the movie was. It was it's a pretty compelling story with two awesome acting performances, and so it's still a blast to watch. That was it the I don't remember what the actual battle is, but where the barbarians, the gladiators are the barbarians trying to take Rome, and it's supposed to like celebrate the holiday, and the Romans are supposed to defeat the barbarians in this glorious battle. That's the scene where Maximus brings everybody together, kind of does like the as one, and they all like put their shields together, and they wind up winning the battle.
I feel like that's your favorite scene in the movie. Like, I never think of anything until after they're like just doing gladiator matches and shit like that. But you quoted earlier this year a scene, something from that first scene in the movie that Russell Crowe said, and now
the
you bring
frost
this up.
makes-
Yes, yes,
Frost makes the blades stick.
yep.
Yeah,
You're just a
great
big fan of the opening act of that film.
Yeah, I don't even remember them saying that.
I remember very little about this movie. It's been a long time since I watched it. I
Hey.
definitely need to revisit it.
Go watch it on 4K or something. I imagine it's
Oh,
available.
4K.
Yeah. It's
But yeah,
Joaquin before he was really Joaquin, right?
yeah, it was like his big
It's like
breakout.
right?
I mean, he was in stuff before that, like
Yeah.
since the early '90s. But Gladiator was his first claim to fame. Now he's
He acts the
Joker.
shit out of that movie. Yeah. Or Cruella.
We will get to that later.
Can't
But yeah, you heard it here first. Gladiator's still a great movie,
Yep.
and that's all we have to say about that. All right, welcome to Live, Breathe Film, episode 34. You're here with Corey, Doug, JP, and Murph. Thanks as always for joining us. Before we get into our main topic for today, let's run through some news and what we watched over this past week. All right, so we're going to kind of go with a quick news section, quick rapid thoughts, because in the past 9 days since we recorded our last episode, there's been a lot of news. So we broke it up into a few segments. We'll start with release dates and updates on movie theaters. So this just broke today, guys. They did a big announcement about Paramount Plus, how it's going to have a couple tiers, what's included in each tiers, and things like that. And with that announcement, they said that Mission Impossible 7 and A Quiet Place Part 2 will both be on Paramount Plus 45 days after it's in theaters. So they're kind of doing a reverse HBO Max deal. But do you think that's any sort of incentive to get Paramount Plus for you guys? And they didn't mention if it'd be any other movies. They just specifically talked about these two.
No.
And I should note that the tiers are $5 and $10.
Yeah, I mean, for me, no, not personally. I don't know. I mean, I don't need that streaming service, but I mean, of course, like if there ends up being like a good value for it, I don't have a problem signing up for it. But just for those two movies, getting them 45 days after they're in theaters, I don't think that's gonna, entice me enough. Personally,
I don't want another streaming service. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Just like
you're done with them.
So unnecessary. I have so many now. And then the movie you want to watch is never on any of the streaming services that you subscribe to anyway. So
yeah.
If I want to go see the movies, I'll go see them in theaters. I don't need to watch them 45 days after on Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I mean, Mission Impossible 7, that's a must see in theaters. So
yeah. I will say though, $5 and $10, that's actually not that bad. I mean, I watched my Netflix subscription start to, continue to rise steadily like GameStop stock.
Yeah.
And I'm a little angry, but
Yeah, I mean that.
Yeah, they're kind of going. They're going with like the Peacock pricing.
Yeah.
That's like Shudder, the horror streaming service, because it's a streaming service for everything. That's like $5 a month, I believe, unless they raise their prices. So it's definitely at least good. It's cheaper. It's not like what is Netflix now? $19 for the 4K platform. I think it went up another $2 recently.
It's pretty ridiculous. Like you turn on Netflix and it's just rolling the dice whether or not it's gonna have a dollar sign say now you owe us this much. But
I wonder
they have the most. So
I wonder with Mission Impossible, because I know we talked about this within the past like week or two, that they decided they were going to split filming of the movies of 7 and 8. I wonder if that was part of the decision. If they, if they want to
Yeah.
get this out sooner, maybe.
I don't know. And it was interesting they didn't have Top Gun on it.
Oh yeah, that's a good
So
point.
I don't know what that means for those Tom
Yeah.
Cruise movies. But for rapid fire, let's move on to our next one. Hugh Jackman's new film, Reminiscence, is going to be coming out September 3rd now on in theaters and on HBO Max. This is the one directed by Lisa Joy, who's one of the big Westworld people. She's married to Jonathan Nolan, so Jonathan Nolan's producing this one. They showed a little clip from it. It looks, what I saw and like the way it seems, it looks so much like Inception.
Oh man.
Basically, the plot is that this guy, living in a future where there's rising seas, is an expert in a dangerous occupation where he offers clients the chance to relive any memory they desire.
Oh wow.
Cool concept. But you guys got to check out this like 15, 20-second teaser that they threw up when they announced the release date, because it reminds me so much of like Leo and like being like Dom Cobb and like talking. I don't know.
Huh.
But do you have any interest in seeing a Westworld type sci-fi movie from that team in theaters? Or at all?
Based on title and Hugh Jackman alone, I assumed it was a musical.
Yeah.
So I was kind of out on that, but I mean, yeah, maybe. I mean, if it's more like Westworld season 1 or
Yeah.
beginning of 2.
Yeah, I'd watch it. It sounds interesting. I mean, it sounds like a good interesting sci-fi.
It's got to have
The
the horns
Nolans-
in the soundtrack.
The Nolans definitely love the sci-fi. It's Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman's great. Maybe he'll have a little musical number.
We gotta hope it's not like that movie Transcendence that Nolan's director of photography, his old director of photography, and then he left and did his directorial debut. It was the one with Johnny Depp. I kind of getting vibes like
remember
that as well. Like it could totally just like be a bomb, but hopefully it'll be a good one.
I remember that.
Yeah, you fella just went out of your mind because it was a crappy looking Johnny Depp movie in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And not one where he was wearing goofy makeup. He was just like a normal dude, as far as I know.
Shame.
But speaking of movie theaters, did you guys see that the movie theaters in New York City are officially opening March 5th?
Yeah.
25% capacity, so nothing crazy, similar to everywhere else, or at least everywhere else in the
progress,
tri-state
though.
area. Yeah, no, I mean this is it.
Positive.
I don't believe they ever opened previously
Nope.
since last March.
Nope.
So like we may actually now be seeing these big movies actually coming out in theaters this summer.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
That's exciting.
Yeah. So yeah, we've talked about it. Black Widow's the big test case. If that actually opens May 7th, then or May 5th, whenever, somewhere around there, May 7th, I believe. We actually will have a summer movie season, which will be awesome.
Yeah, that would be wonderful.
Can create the summer movie preview that didn't really exist last year that we attempted.
I
All
say
over
we just
again.
re-release the exact same episode.
And just
Pretend like it never happened.
we'll
It's the
just
exact
dub
same movies.
we'll dub a couple words like over it, and boom, we're good.
Yeah, it's easy enough.
And then on to TV release dates. Just announced today, Monday the 24th, that the Bad Batch or the Bad Bitch, the Star Wars cartoon, the new one, spinoff of the Clone Wars series, is debuting on Star Wars Day. So May 4th. May the 4th be with you. All that stuff. You guys gonna give that one a shot?
The Bad Bitch.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure, why
Bad
not?
Bitch. Have you given you guys watched previous cartoons?
Nope.
Watch
I
the
haven't.
cartoons, just not those cartoons.
I've been meaning
All
to
right.
watch them. Yeah, I need to. It's a lot. What is there? 7 seasons of Clone Wars, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And then just the last bit of release date news is that Loki comes out June 11th. So we're going to have Falcon the Winter Soldier in March. That's going to be 6 episodes, hour long, I believe. And then Loki June 11th.
Nice.
Hopefully post Black Widow. All right, let's fix this.
Yeah, let's fix
What's the
those
technical
two.
difficulties? I was trying to get through
Doug's-
the release date stuff. Yeah, what do
Yeah.
you your screen's like on the fritz?
Like blinking green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I stopped it, right?
No,
it's
No, we
still
just
doing
did it.
It just did it as
We
soon
just
as you
did it
said
again.
that.
Again. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but
It's kind of distracting.
I don't know how to fix it.
Yeah. Maybe it's the ring light interfering with the camera.
Or Doug is getting abducted.
Every time Doug turns his
The ring
camera
light's so much
off,
better.
my camera turns off as well. I find that so strange.
Doug is getting abducted by aliens.
Oh, now everyone switched around.
I'm gonna tell Derek we're on Twitch so he knows to watch live.
Yeah, I was actually going to tell him, but he seems like a no spoilers type of guy. Still going.
Yeah, still going, Doug. Go back to
Yeah, it's blinking.
your other camera. Sorry, Doug.
It's technical difficulties night. Oh, my camera turned off again. Every time he turns his camera off, mine goes off as well.
Yeah, that is strange.
Yeah. Hello, Twitch. How you doing?
Doug, do you have a green
Get to
screen?
see all the. Now he's got a blue screen of death.
Well, I'm getting an ad for the beer I'm drinking. It's like it
Oh,
knows.
Actually,
It knows,
terrifying.
man.
That's
Good ad.
actually terrifying. How would it know?
I don't know.
We start getting ads for Live Breathe Film. It's listening to
See,
us.
that would make more sense though, because we're like doing stuff under that brand. Like I sell my stickers and stuff, and every now and again I'll get like a pop-up ad for my stickers on Redbubble. I was like, oh, but it's just my computer is riddled with all that shit. So my wife will tell me too. It's just like, oh, I saw a thing for your sticker. I can't believe people are seeing it. I was like, no, it's because you went and looked at it and saved it on your computer, and then it targets you with ads. I fucking wish everyone was seeing it, but
Google's like, nah. I'm just gonna
yeah.
tell you.
If like every random person turned their shit on and my stuff was freely promoted everywhere, I'd be a very wealthy man. We're playing musical chairs on Twitch.
Yeah,
Like
I need music.
popping around in different places. It's pretty fun.
Dun, 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 dun.
Is that the official
Oh.
musical chairs?
Now we're
music?
like,
I don't know.
ooh, oh, that was fun. I was like cut in half. I'm Doug now. Hi, welcome to Live Breathe Doug. My name's Doug.
My name's Douglas.
Douglas Maximus. God damn. Very weird Spider-Man pictures that they released. It kind of looks like Indiana Jones with a laptop.
With the three of them?
Yeah.
I didn't see the teaser, but
Is there a teaser?
There wasn't a teaser?
there was
There you go.
there was like they called it a teaser that they released, but it looked like I didn't watch like the whole thing because it just looked like it was like background footage shots, like that was it. But it was
It
like
was
that
just
reveal thing.
Yeah, it was just a like a skit thing. Like
Yeah.
basically making fun of Tom Holland for spoiling things.
He does that, doesn't he?
I wonder if
does.
they put the actor who plays Ned in a fat suit of sorts, because he lost a considerable amount of weight and like he looks exactly the same in the shots that they showed. Like
They put him in a wig because he's
well,
bald.
yeah, that they did.
Yeah, I didn't think he lost any weight when I saw him in those
So,
things.
Yeah, I mean, well, those Instagram photos he posts, he's like lost a shit ton of weight. Like
Yeah, but
100
I mean, why
pounds.
wouldn't they just make him thin then?
Exactly.
movie?
That's why it's weird. Because they're filming this now. Those pictures he posted
Doug.
like months ago. Hey, Doug.
Maybe he got fat in the month since.
I mean, during
God damn
quarantine,
it! Somehow
it ain't
I'm
that hard to
like
get
now.
fat.
Disney was like, no,
What's
bro.
happening? You're gonna
So-
eat all this cake
No.
and you're gonna get fat again.
You need to go back to exactly who you
Put
are.
on the LBs now.
Or you're not in the movie anymore. Mickey's like,
I
ha ha.
commend you losing all that weight, but now it's time to get fat again. Can't
Cheesecake.
have inconsistencies in our Spider-Man movies.
Ha ha. There should be cheesecake.
All
at
right,
your
what's
house
somebody
now.
else's solution for getting rid of the echo? Because now it came back with a
Oh.
vengeance.
Right
Just
click.
go, right click your tab.
Doug is getting surround
Right click
sound.
the tab.
Live, breathe, film.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
And then mute site or something.
All right, is it blinking still?
I haven't seen a blink yet.
Nope.
Nope, you're good.
No more
Good work,
aliens.
Doug.
You're a
All right.
technical wizard.
Well done.
All right, after some technical difficulties, we are back. Let's get
Oh,
into the
yeah.
creative announcements. Spider-Man 3. It is no longer called Spider-Man 3, at least to us. It is now Spider-Man No Way Home. This was after a series of fake titles that got released on Instagram by 3 of the stars. Which title would you prefer? Are there any ones that you prefer over No Way Home?
Wasn't one home wrecking?
Homewrecker?
Homewrecker? I
Homewrecker.
yeah,
Yeah,
that one I liked.
yeah, that
Which
was a
made
good
me-
one.
It made me think of Moe's. It's like, oh, they're doing some sort of
Yeah.
burrito tie-in.
Ah.
Nice.
I got like Home Wrecker, Home Slice, whatever the movie's actually called, and then like, what was the third one that they had? Because that
Phone Home.
Phone Home. Phone Home was
2ET.
that was phoned in. That was pretty bad.
Yeah.
So it's like ranks number 3 on the actual list of names for me. The actual movie's title.
Okay. Yeah, I liked Home Slice. I think that was because it was the first one I saw. So I'm like, oh, this is a very interesting name for a film. Before I realized that it was like a gag.
all about
Spider-Man
pizza.
home slice.
But I mean, I think No Way Home's a cool title.
It's not bad.
Yeah,
It's
I
telling.
mean,
It's on brand for sure.
it would make sense with the way that Far From Home ended.
And then Spider-Man 4 could be called Spider-Man Who Says He Can't Go Home.
The Bon Jovi story.
Exactly. With a cameo by John Bon Jovi himself.
And an entire soundtrack with John Bon Jovi songs. I wouldn't see it.
I mean,
You used to
tell you that
like
much right
you
now.
used to like him back in the day.
I did. I got older and wiser.
I
And, yeah.
I'd get on board for that.
Yeah, I think as long as you've had a few beers, Bon Jovi Spider-Man, everyone will be singing in the theater.
Oh God.
No.
If that's the case, I'd hope this fucking pandemic continues going on and I don't have to witness that. Oh my God, that'd be awful.
But then you're gonna be walking down the street and someone's gonna be watching Spider-Man Who Says You Can't Go Home. You're gonna hear them singing because apparently you have to sing when you watch that movie. It's gonna be a telling tale.
Exactly. And next up, we've got David Fincher, another Netflix film just announced today that's being worked on. It's going to be with Michael Fassbender starring, so they haven't done a collaboration yet, so this is pretty exciting. But it's called The Killer. It's an assassin drama adaptation. Basically, it's about a cold-blooded assassin who begins to have psychological crisis in a world with no moral compass. That's kind of like the quick one-sentence logline. Sounds right up Fincher's alley.
Yep.
After basically every film he's ever made, but more specifically his darker ones involving serial killers. JP, as our resident David Fincher number one fan, what are your thoughts?
If you rewind back about 15 minutes, I was complaining about Netflix rising my price every time I log in. But if they're going to continue to do shit like this, then please charge me whatever you want. I mean, a new Fincher film every 2 to 3 years. I'm assuming this probably won't come out for 2 years.
Yeah,
Mank just
probably at
came
least.
out. I'll take
But that's
it every
nice though,
day.
because we had what
Yeah.
6 years in between Gone Girl and Mank.
Too long.
Yeah,
way
too
too
long.
long.
it's nice
But
when
I mean, we did get Mindhunters,
yeah.
which is it's a pretty good
Fantastic.
fill-in.
But yeah, it looks like this. I mean, maybe it could come out like in 2022. So just a 2 year difference between that and Mank. I mean, he's done quick turnarounds before. Benjamin Button and Social Network was 2 years. I think Social Network and Girl with the Dragon Tattoo was only 1 year.
And he's
So
already got Fassbender on. It sounds like it's a pretty solid idea at the moment. So I would
yeah,
imagine that there's a pretty, at least fully fleshed out script. So yeah, who knows? But I'm eagerly anticipating this.
for sure. And previously on Live Breathe Film, we've talked about the Arnold Schwarzenegger film, The Running Man.
Yeah.
Huge surprise is the fact that they are doing another version of The Running Man, a more straight adaptation of the Stephen King. I don't know if it's a novella
Probably a short
or a full
story
novel.
since it was a
Yeah,
good movie, it's probably a short story or novella.
yeah. So
You son of a
this
bitch.
this one is being directed by the one and only Edgar Wright. So what the fuck? Wow. Didn't see this coming at all.
Even though
Yeah,
like
that was incredibly surprising.
it's shocking, but now as I think about it more and more, I'm like, wow, this is like actually like a genius idea to give him, this story. I think it I think it's going to be
Yeah,
great. I mean, he's a great
he's
director, so
he's nailed his one adaptation that he's done so
yeah.
far.
He's proven he can do action-driven movies. He's proven he can do science fiction movies, horror movies, cop movies. He can do whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a
He's
well-made
going to be doing
movie
some
either way.
like psychological horror movie later this year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can give Edgar Wright any script or any story, and I think he'll deliver you a film that just knocks it out of the park in every way possible.
I also
Heck
think
yeah.
like his unique way of filmmaking is going to, I mean, if they keep to the story, but it's gonna lend itself really well to this.
Yeah. And I just realized we're running through like all updates from like our favorite directors right now, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got Corey's boy, Ari Aster. He's doing a film with Joaquin Phoenix, who we talked about at the beginning of the show. It's called Disappointment Boulevard. They've described it as an intimate, decade-spanning portrait of one of the most successful entrepreneurs of all time. I believe it's supposed to be based on a real-life person. We just don't know who that is yet. But Corey, he's your boy. What are your thoughts? You think it's going to be dark and twisted, or it's just going to be more just straight up drama?
I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, the only reason why I think that it'll still be a skewed horror type of film, because I remember he made a comment about his next film like a while ago, maybe a year ago, and all he said was that it's it was a dark comedy horror thriller, and that was like the words, the buzzwords that he threw out, and I was just like, what?
So it's like the Cable Guy, basically.
Maybe, but he said that it's comedic, which makes sense that Walking Phoenix, because he can do that, and I could definitely see him in more of like, I mean, even though he's only made 2 films, but like more of like a traditional type of Ari Aster film where it has like the horror pieces to it. But I mean, the guy has been able to. He's done both of those except for comedy. I haven't really seen anything like legitimately comedic in his movies. Maybe like little bits in Midsummer, but if that ends up being what it is, it's going to be very interesting. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be like a mind fuck either way, but I think that's a really good team, the two of them. So it should be very, very interesting. Definitely excited.
Yeah, I feel like they're 2 peas in
Yeah.
the same pod, or whatever the fucking expression is.
Yeah.
The peas and pod.
What a name for a movie too.
Yeah. Yeah, the two of them
Yikes.
seem like that. Those are going to be two creators that end up
Dude,
doing many films together and like becoming like great friends.
yeah, if
It's
this movie
just
ends up being disappointing, people are gonna have a field day with this title.
Yeah, that's a gamble. That's frightening.
Yeah, but
he's a very confident director, so I mean, and he has his following, so it's going to be very interesting to see what this ends up being.
yeah. All right, and next up, we've got the GOAT, Martin Scorsese's next movie, Killers of the Flower Moon. So this was an interesting one that was announced this weekend. Jesse Plemons is going to be taking on the big role of the movie that was originally going to be Leonardo DiCaprio. Leo asked if he could step aside from that role and do a supporting character, who I guess is going to be a more like colorful, exciting character for him to play. Something that I guess he just wants to do right now.
Yeah.
So they beefed up that role because you got to give Leo a ton of shit to do in a Marty movie. But yeah, man, Jesse Plemons, he was already in The Irishman from Scorsese, but now it's him, Leo, and Robert De Niro. And it will be on Apple TV Plus and in theaters, I guess, over the next year, end of 2022 at the latest.
I'm really happy.
Ever think you'd live to see a Jesse Plemons led Scorsese movie?
No.
It's been it's pretty cool though. I mean, it's gone from Landry Clark to Todd on Breaking Bad to now headlining a Marty movie. So that's wild.
I mean, if there's an actor that deserves it, I think he definitely does. He's definitely, really talented. I think he'll kill it.
Yeah, I mean, he can really do anything. But it kind of sucks for him because he was going to be the star of, or one of the stars of Jordan Peele's latest film, but then he had to back out of it because of conflicting schedules with these two. So now it looks like Daniel Kaluuya is going to reunite with Jordan Peele for that one.
Feels like for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he made the right decision.
So hot.
Daniel Kaluuya.
Scorsese.
Yeah, I mean, they were great together in Get Out. So
yeah, I like that. That intrigues me more. Although I do kind of feel like Jesse Plemons feels like a little bit of a downgrade from Leonardo DiCaprio. But
yes, that's true. Literally everyone would be a downgrade from Leonardo DiCaprio, but you have to remember Leo's still in the movie.
And he's going to be doing
crazy. Yeah,
he's going to be doing like where he really shines.
My guess is he's going to be doing something like his screen role and like time in the movie will be something similar to like Django Unchained.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what I think of when you talk about like Leo just going crazy.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
I can see something along the lines of like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood too, like the over the top.
Yeah, like a Rick Dalton.
Over the top Leo's so fucking good.
Oh, yeah. Over the top Leo's
so
fantastic.
good.
So I'm not upset about this at all. I think it's pretty exciting, actually. I mean, and the fact that Leo and De Niro are finally doing a Scorsese movie together, also awesome. This is two muses of the past 50 years.
Mm-hmm. I mean, but like with even Jesse Plemons, like how you have an offer to headline a Martin Scorsese movie. How do you turn that down? You got to take that.
Yeah.
That is a once in a lifetime. We'll see, but like for most actors, that's like a once in a lifetime, opportunity.
Yeah, he's only gonna have so many more. Dude's in his 70s. But let's move on to some TV news. Only one thing, nothing crazy, but kind of funny. There is going to be a Twisted Metal TV show.
That's bizarre.
It is from the writers of Deadpool. It's described as an action comedy, and it's going to center on some motormouth outsider who's offered the opportunity to get a better life by delivering a mysterious package across a post-apocalyptic wasteland. He'll be dealing with Sweet Tooth and all the rest on his journey across.
It's live action?
From my understanding, yeah.
Wow.
Where?
I do not know where it is airing yet. This is in development from Sony.
Big.
It's in development from Sony right now. So we don't know where it's going. We know Halo is going to Paramount Plus. I don't know where this is going.
calling it right now. Jack Black is gonna play Sweet Tooth.
God, I fucking hope not.
I don't know.
Wait,
But I was thinking
maybe he won't because he's in fucking Borderlands.
Oh yeah, he's playing Claptrap.
True.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, like when I first saw this, I'm like a Twisted Metal like TV show. Like what the fuck? Like this sounds like the stupidest thing in the world. It's just fucking cars shooting at each other. For those not aware of what Twisted Metal is, it's basically a demolition derby game. But then I thought about Twisted Metal Black and
So good.
Yeah,
how
the
it had
story-
some incredible cutscenes and great story,
Yeah, the story was
throughout for each character.
Mhm.
So maybe it could work.
But comedy. That's the
Yeah,
one thing is if they were gonna
that's
do it, I want like full Twisted Metal Black, like
Yeah.
real fucked up things.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
an
Good point.
anthology would have been nicer. So you do something that's not a coherent story, or you do like a main story.
Unless
with
they do it like
point of view-
a Lost type thing where like each episode you're
Yeah.
getting backstory of a previous person who they're like encountering or whatever.
Oh, that would have been so good.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
man.
Deadpool writers, you sorry I don't know your names. You're not yet on like a level where you're a writing duo where I know both your names, like Christopher Lord and Phil Miller, or maybe it's Phil Miller. Phil Miller and Christopher Lloyd. But yeah, we'll see if it's actually comes to fruition. But I don't know. It could work. Is all I'm saying.
There's
Twisted
potential.
Metal is absurd, so the comedy aspect could work. On the level.
But let's jump into our trailer talk section of the news. We'll start with another video game adaptation, Mortal Kombat. So we've had Mortal Kombat already, Mortal Kombat and its sequel in 1995, 1997, both PG-13 rated movies. Now we're getting a full-fledged R-rated Mortal Kombat, as it should be, since if you have not played these games, they are bloody, gory as hell. It's all about doing the most like deadly moves on someone when you beat them in this tournament. But what do you guys think of the trailer?
I liked it. I mean, it definitely hypes up the cheese. I mean, which I was hoping for. I mean, like Mortal Kombat has to be ridiculous, and it seems like that it's on brand for that. Acting seems better in comparison to the older ones.
It's a low bar.
It's a real low mark, especially if you're talking about the second one.
Yes, the acting is better than the second one for sure. I don't know really any of these actors, which is weird.
The only
I recognize one of the guys from the Wolverine, but that was it.
Exactly. That's who I recognize. Everyone else I've never seen. I don't think.
Some of them look like they came to play though. Some of them looked like they'll probably have better performances than others, but the fighting looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
And
set design
it's definitely
looks good.
not. Yeah, the costume design's fantastic.
So nothing where they have to Sonic the Hedgehog and go back and push the release date because they need to fix things. Everything looks good. Looks on brand.
I'm in love with the aesthetic so much.
Yeah.
Scorpion just showing up out of the fire. Sub-Zero holding the gun and having it go off and everything freezing as the bullet comes toward him. This movie can't get here fast enough. I know it's probably going to be a pile of shit, but it looks like an entertaining pile of shit, and I'm so on board with it.
Yeah, I think it'll end up being at least, entertaining. I liked how they showed Jax getting his arms frozen off. Like, just it seems like that they're
Needed the arm backstory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't followed.
We needed it. We needed the backstory.
Yeah. I haven't followed the Mortal Kombat mythology for a very long time, but I mean, it seems like at least with seeing that they're gonna, they're doing stuff for the fans. So, and fans are always very hard to please. So, we'll see if they actually nail it or not.
And it looks like fatalities galore in this movie.
I was reading that the movie is like really like over the top gory, so
just not usually my my cup of tea, but for Mortal Kombat, Gotta
Yeah,
have some
it's
gore
different
to it.
though. I mean, it's like super over the top. So if they do it in that way, the gore is not.
It's not horror movie gore. It's
Yeah, it's
this
different.
absurdist violence. It's like
Yeah.
a Schwarzenegger movie
Mhm.
more than like Total Recall.
Oh yeah.
But all right, let's get into Disney's kid-friendly version of Joker. Oh, I should mention Mortal Kombat is out on HBO Max and in theaters April 16th. But Cruella, which very much looks like Joker. Thank you, Doug, for pointing that out to me. I'll never not see it again now. Which is stupid. I should have saw it on first viewing, but I was like looking at it like first thing in the morning, and I was like half paying attention. I was like, oh, Emma Stone was cool. And then you're like, yeah, it's fucking Joker and like Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. And I'm like, my God. I watched it again. I'm like, it really is.
Yeah. If Emma Stone tries to show someone a magic trick, then that's gonna be
Yeah. Well, that'd be
insane.
off
Start
brand.
bringing in Heath.
That would be Heath Ledger version. This one, it's got to be
Gotta like dance down some stairs or something.
Yeah, exactly. When you introduce me, can you tell him my name's Cruella or something like that? But yeah, this one's coming out in late May. I don't know if it's coming out in theaters or on Disney Plus. But JP, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, do you not think it's weird to make coats out of Dalmatians? I don't, and I'm tired of pretending like it isn't.
Yep.
God, the fucking memes and the shit are fantastic.
I don't want to feel. I don't want to feel bad for Cruella. I don't understand where any of these movies come from, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, she's a great villain. Like, I think this one will make money. Unlike some Disney live action adaptations that like don't really make sense, but she's a super popular character. I think the first movie was like the 11th biggest movie of all time, adjusted for inflation.
Wow.
Like the animated one. The live action version with Glenn Close was a big hit back in the 90s. Even had a sequel.
Yeah, that was fun.
So I think I think it'll be pretty. I think it'll do pretty well. It's got a good director. The guy Craig Gillespie, he did I, Tonya, so he knows what he's doing. And he's good with like kind of anti-hero characters. But yeah, I mean, ultimately she's killing dogs, so fuck her. But Joker's killing people too, so fuck him also. You could still make a good movie about a villain.
As long as they don't try and go like the Angelina Jolie Sleeping Beauty route, whatever, when they're like, she's bad because everyone made her bad.
Yeah.
That's what I'm worried of. If they try and humanize an animal murdering person that makes coats.
Like, I hope it's more of a boohoo, woe is me, like fuck you, like okay, you're like things are bad, but you're a villain, like fuck you. But we'll see how they play it in May when it comes out. All right, that's it for news. Let's move on to what we watched. Let's do some quick updates. Corey.
Yeah. So I jumped into the show Shangri-LA on Showtime. It's a docuseries about Rick Rubin, music producer. I read about it a while ago, and I started watching it last night, and it's, I mean, if you're really into music and a lot of the artists that he's had his hands in over the years, it's super interesting because it dives into like how he became a producer, started Def Jam Records. It touches on everything, and the man, I mean, he's brilliant. And the one cool thing about the show is that it goes into the recording space that he created, I think back in the 70s with like the band called Shangri-La, and it's just so strange. It's all white, painted all white, the floor, everything, and there's nothing on the walls. And when you're recording there, you have the ability to record in all of these different spaces, and artists swear by like the the creative freedom that they get from being there. So I guess that's why it's been so popular since the 70s. But yeah, I mean, he's a weird guy. I think there's only one season out. I think they're going to continue doing more. He's incredibly strange and surprisingly not on any sort of drugs or doesn't drink or anything. He's just a very unique human being. But I definitely recommend, if you're into any of the artists that he's produced or just music in general, it's a really cool documentary, like music docuseries type of thing, shot really well. So that's what I'm slowly going through. I think I have like 6 more episodes. So
Did he produce Saint Anger?
Death Magnetic, not Saint
Bob
Anger.
Rock was
That
Saint
Bob.
Anger.
Yeah, that was Bob
Yeah.
Rock. But yeah, I mean, Rick Rubin. I know Murph and I were talking about this last night. I mean, just the artists that he's touched over the years: Beastie Boys, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Metallica, Slayer.
Linkin
Did
Park.
Linkin Park. Yeah,
Park.
he was the downfall of Linkin Park for me. Once they
Minutes
got
to
him,
Midnight.
I started to hate them.
It was also when Mike Shinoda started doing a lot more of the stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you mean. The sound changed a lot after their second album.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's definitely had an interesting career. He's an interesting dude. Cool. Doug, what'd you watch?
I've watched a season and a half now of The Servant on Apple TV Plus.
Oh, you diving into
Which
the
is-
Apple TV Plus? This is
Yeah,
2
one
weeks
of
in a row.
the. Yeah, well, there's not many shows on Apple TV Plus to watch, so I think it's The Servant, which surprisingly had like a lot of good reviews, and that kind of pulled me into it. But it's our favorite director creator M. Night Shyamalan
Love them.
that created this, and the only one I really remember from the cast is they casted from Game of Thrones, the daughter of Jaime and Cersei, who kind of like popped up every now and then. She was like on a boat or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
saw
yeah,
the
so they made her
seasons.
look. Oh, you did? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they made her look like creepy. They,
Yeah, I feel like
I-
Corey talked about this like in one of our first episodes.
Yeah, it was right when right when we started doing this. I watched it. Now I just realized it by looking up the. I didn't looking up the show. I didn't realize there was a second season already.
Very memorable if you couldn't even remember the title.
I watched a lot of stuff over the past year.
The twist is you don't remember it at the end.
I'm assuming season 2 just started.
It seemed like it's pretty close to ending. I mean, I already watched like half of it, and I think there's more episodes that I still have to watch. So they're probably doing once a week. Basic concept of the show is it's a couple who lost their child, so they have this rebirth baby, which is basically a doll, and the mother treats it like it's the child, like the child never died, and so they go as far as to hire a servant. I guess it's not really a servant; it's just the title of the show. She's just like a nanny.
Yeah.
It's more like a butler.
It's like a nanny to kind of like take care of this doll. And it's
Brahms.
what's Brahms?
Brahms the boy.
Brahms the boy. It was a horror movie that came out like 2 years ago. It sounds very.
And there was a sequel for it too.
Oh Lord.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe this is Brahms inspired. But yeah, so it's just kind of goes from there. They bring in, of course, the girl they hire is the creepiest fucking girl in the world that you could find.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of moody, and there's kind of an overall mystery as to like how the kid died and why the mother is the way she is, and kind of follow that throughout the first season. It's fine. I mean, like it was interesting enough for me to watch for the first season. It's like I said, it's moody. It's very dark and like visually dark. everyone's kind of sad and depressed. It's definitely not a pick me up if you're looking for something fun to watch on TV. But it's fine. I forgot to mention Ron from. It's another Ted Lasso. I forgot to mention Ron Weasley is also in the show.
Yeah, he's great.
Really?
He's a standout.
Good to see Ron get some work.
Yeah.
Hermione and Harry have been getting everything.
He does an okay American accent.
I thought his American accent was really good.
It comes and goes.
Did you watch this alone?
released?
It comes and goes, just like Doug's Florida accent.
Comes and
What are you talking about, y'all?
There you go. They're flawless Florida accent. Does this come out every week, or was this released in like a lump and you're just getting through it, or is this like a weekly release for each episode?
I think it's a weekly release, and it just happened to be like partway through season 2 already, and so I watched the first season, like, and knocked it out in a couple days.
Cool. Are you eagerly anticipating every episode drop?
No, like I said, there's like multiple episodes out for season 2, and I still haven't gotten there yet.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine. There seems to be a cult following for it, like Reddit. They're really into it.
Corey's in the fan club, I think. He remembers watching it.
I mean, I remember liking it, but I don't remember much about it. I remember little bits and pieces. I remember Ron Weasley being exceptional.
Interesting. Maybe Ron Weasley.
I like him.
Ron Weasley will be to Apple as little fucking Dursley is to Netflix. How he pops up in every movie on TV show on Netflix lately.
Playing villains, which is weird.
Is that the guy from Queen's Gambit?
Yeah.
And the Old Guard. He was the crazy. Yeah,
he was the villain in the Old Guard.
Oh shit, he was. They're making a second one of those.
And he was in that Coen Brothers movie, Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
I still haven't gotten through that.
Yeah, well, he was in the one with Liam Neeson.
Shit. Okay.
All right. JP, get into your teen classics that you watched.
Yeah, I went down a weird road this week, and I did a little twofer. I did a little double feature of basically what I imagined high school was going to be like in Can't Hardly Wait, and what high school ended up being in Superbad, which was kind of funny.
Which is good, because Can't Hardly Wait was when we were in, I guess,
middle school?
5th grade.
Right?
5th grade, but we probably didn't see it until middle. We probably didn't see it until middle school. And then Superbad was when we were in college.
Yeah, right.
A couple years after high school.
Yeah. It's funny because you watch these movies, when we watched them back in middle school, we thought, oh, that's got to be what it's like to graduate from high school when you're watching Can't Hardly Wait. And then you realize that it's not nearly that cheesy and corny and serendipitous. It's more like Superbad, where it's like everything's fucking embarrassing and we're all disgusting human beings.
Yeah.
But still absolutely hilarious. It's been a very long time since I've seen Can't Hardly Wait. I think it's probably been since middle school since I watched that movie.
Wow.
Wow, really?
It's kind of brand new to me again.
Yeah.
And holy shit, it's corny. It's incredibly corny.
Didn't hold up for you?
No, I mean, it was entertaining. I didn't want to turn it off, but it's definitely a PG kind of American pie.
Every character is a major stereotype. Like,
yes.
And
it's
very different than Superbad, where they're real people.
Yeah, after talking about Not Another Teen Movie last week, it was very difficult to watch a movie like this and not think of every way it's been parodied in Not Another Teen Movie.
Dude, that's like listening to songs that Weird Al has parodied. And I'm like, wait, isn't it supposed to be some sort of jokey line right now? And it's just really weird.
Every time I hear Riding Dirty, I brace for White and Nerdy, and it never comes, and I get really sad. Yeah, it was really like that. It's so funny how tropey that movie is, and how it was recreated in probably 3 or 4 different movies around that same year. I mean, I would say maybe 6 months before it and 6 months after. Like, they made that same movie so many times.
Mm-hmm.
But you can really see where a lot of the Not Another Teen Movie parodies come. It comes from this movie, it feels like. Because you got the poser guy with Seth Green thinking he's like this, ghetto rap dude.
with his
Yeah,
headband and spiky hair.
the main
Yeah, appropriating culture. That's the Neil Schreiber from Freaks and Geeks.
They even have the scene where it's like he runs in and he jumps, he drops the word, and they chase him out, and it's the exact same way in not another teen movie.
Yeah.
When the two Asian guys kick him in the face and he goes flying. The main girl, the redheaded girl that ends up getting with Seth Green is like the most generic Molly Ringwald looking, 90s girl. It was just so funny just to see how stereotypical and there's some like really interesting people in this movie, like Donald Faison's in that one band that never plays a note.
With Breckin Meyer.
Breckin Meyer is the lead singer in that one. Melissa Joan Hart's just running around the whole thing trying to get people to sign her yearbook. It's Jamie Presley is both in Not Another Teen Movie and Can't Hardly Wait. Yeah, that one was just that was a trip down memory lane, and then Superbad was.
It's got a great Blink-182 record drop of "Damn It" when they're running out of the party when the cops come.
Yes, it does. It also plays the same Smash Mouth song twice, and then a different Smash Mouth song.
All Star? All Star's not in it.
All Star?
No.
Staring at the sun.
Walking on the Sun.
Walking on the Sun.
And then another one that was mildly popular, and I forget what it was. Very forgettable.
All fucking Smash Mouth, man. They had like that 3-year run.
Yeah.
Was it the cover and then Shrek?
Yeah.
Was it that song?
No, because this came out. No, this came out before Shrek.
Oh, okay.
Or at least before that song was released.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some choice 90s music in this.
Doug, you seem quiet. Have you not seen Can't Hardly Wait?
I haven't seen Can't Hardly Wait. It doesn't sound like something I need to see either after JP's review.
Last week, cheesy high school movie.
Last week we talked about Orange County. You haven't seen that. You haven't seen Can't Hardly Wait. What were you doing in fucking 1998 to 2002?
I'm watching.
I don't know. These movies like didn't really appeal to me, so I was probably watching.
You're probably watching fucking some movie with a dragon or something. Sean Connery.
Yeah.
Doug was
watching Jurassic Park
his
for the
own
1,000th time.
That's fair.
I find, Back to the Future and Jurassic Park is probably what I was just watching
on repeat.
That's fair. Nothing wrong with
that. Nothing wrong with that.
But we'll have to show you Can't Hardly Wait sometime. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun movie.
It's definitely a fun movie.
It's probably nostalgia at this point. Doug will watch it and be like, "This is shitty."
I mean,
but
I watched it basically fresh again.
Yeah.
Last weekend, and it's not terrible, but you have to like that kind of movie. So.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
JP, I think you need to follow up Can't Hardly Wait with Trojan War.
Didn't we have to figure out that you have to buy like the VHS? Streaming anywhere.
It's not streaming anywhere.
It was on HBO Max, I believe, but it's not anymore.
It's not anymore. Okay.
We'll find.
We're gonna have to figure that out.
It's going on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
I'll throw $5 down.
Paramount Plus.
Yeah, and then Superbad is Superbad. It's the movie that we thought was being written about our stupid escapades and our random stupid humor, but turns out everyone's the same as us.
Yeah, exactly, including Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg.
Yeah,
they copied us.
The Canadian Wonderkins.
Totally copied us. They had the exact same upbringing in Canada.
Just in Canada.
Yeah, I like these little double features. I might try and do more of them in the future. Try and find two movies that are kind of.
No, it's good when you're in like a same genre. Things that mesh well together.
Yeah. What'd you watch, Murph?
All right, I watched The Irishman, which I mentioned earlier in the program. I got it for Christmas on Blu-ray, Criterion Collection. So that's where I watched it. Watched the special features last week. Watched the movie this past weekend. It is on Netflix because who buys physical media anymore? Not many people. So you can watch it there since they made it. But this is the third time I've seen it, and the first time I've seen it since it first dropped on Netflix. So in over a year. Holds up very well. I'm still super happy when you get an hour into the movie and Al Pacino finally shows up. because he just brings like an extra amount of energy to the film.
I still haven't seen this.
Yeah, man, you gotta.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great.
I know Doug wasn't a huge fan of it, but
I don't
I know
love
JP
it,
likes
but
over the top Al Pacino,
I do
and
love me
he
some
is
over-the-top
over the top
Al
Al Pacino.
he
in
is
the
over the
best-
top.
Mhm.
the best way.
There's
so
not
goddamn
like,
funny.
He is, but he's not. He's not a huge part of that movie.
A little over the top Al Pacino can go a long way.
So
Yeah,
true,
it
so
really
true.
can.
I mean, even Once Upon a Time was enough for me. There's only one scene.
Schwartz. Pronounce Schwartz. But yeah, I mean, it's Robert De Niro's movie. Hence Pacino not showing up for an hour. But I mean, he plays an important role as Jimmy Hoffa. Still am bugged by the poor effects in the early flashbacks of De Niro. I don't know why they made his eyes so blue. It's like so distracting.
Mhm.
He looks like he came out of like the Polar Express, but like 10 years better than the Polar Express. But I guess you get used to it, or it just gets better as it goes along. Like Pacino legit looks like he did in like Godfather 3 in like his older years, and similar to how he looked in like Son of a Woman in like his younger years in the movie. And De Niro eventually like looks
Yeah.
normal for the majority of it. And
even
Pesci
Pesci
looks
amazing.
great throughout.
Yeah.
Pesci looks great throughout.
Even those early scenes
and
with him.
Pesci, yeah, and Pesci's just fantastic in the movie as well. But yeah, man, I mean, I watched this 3 times. That's like over 10 hours of my life that I've devoted to this movie because it's so goddamn long. But I did do it in one sitting, which I was impressed by.
How long
It is the 3.5.
Yeah, 3.5.
Yo, that's long.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of got like a Return of the King like epilogue, like the last half an hour of the movie. But it's necessary. Like,
Okay.
it's very necessary for Scorsese to tell the story that he's trying to tell, which is that there's only one way in life. If you go in the mob, it's dying alone, basically. Whether
Jimmy
you're murdered,
Hoffa is buried in Giant Stadium.
I will not spoil. But yeah, JP, definitely check it out.
Yeah.
Devote that 3.5 hours. You got tons of fucking great actors in it. It's not even just the 3 of them. Like we said, Jesse Plemons is in it. Bobby Cannavale, Harvey
I
Keitel.
like him too.
A lot of he's really good in it. A lot of people you recognize. What's his face from Entourage? Dom.
Oh God, no Dom. No.
But he's really good in this, and he's like caked up in like old man makeup. It was very very strange casting. Like
Yeah.
I don't know why they just didn't go for an old guy because he's old from the start he's in the movie.
Oh, that's so weird.
But they did, and he's good in it.
And great music. Great music.
Oh, and Stephen. Oh, I actually got to shout out Stephen Graham. Because he is my favorite supporting role in the movie. He's can't remember the name of his character right now. He's the one that Al Pacino gives shit for coming late to a meeting. Because Jimmy Hoffa cannot stand if people are late to a meeting.
Potenzaro. I forgot his first name, but he was like
Yeah.
the leader
I forget
of like
his nickname in it.
Teamsters
Something
in
Italian.
Yeah,
Teamsters in
yeah.
Union
And
City.
Pacino makes a very funny joke about how so many Italians are named Tony. It's a really good one. So, what, do they not know any other names?
Yeah, he's so
Tony
good.
this, Tony that. And that was my attempt at an Al Pacino impersonation.
It's pretty good.
By the way,
Pretty good.
late age Al Pacino. But Irishman, Netflix. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. It's a good one.
You ever think you'd own a direct to Netflix movie on DVD?
I did not. I watch it free whenever I want, and I had my parents pay for it so I can get it for Christmas.
I mean,
it doesn't make sense.
I do own Stranger Things on Blu-ray.
Good point. I have season 1 and 2 of Stranger Things.
But
that's weird.
They never released season 3.
But like it's just so much easier to.
I got it for the box. I'm never gonna watch it. It looks like a vintage VHS box.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Yeah, they
It's
never
a really cool
released season
collectible.
3. What the hell?
I know. Yeah, because they
Now I'm
realize no one
angry.
buys fucking DVDs of
Except
TV
for
shows.
except for you and I.
Target and Netflix realized
Damn
that
them.
yeah, they don't sell a lot.
Yeah.
Oh well. All right, WandaVision. Let's get into it. Episode 7.
WandaVision.
A big one.
Spoilers.
Yeah, we're spoiling it up tonight.
Spoilers,
There's a big one and a big one for spoilers.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the one where you find out that Agnes is Agatha.
Agatha Harkness.
All along.
Agatha Harkness from Agatha all along. Yep, from the comics. Not familiar with her from the comics because I don't read the comics. But I did hear that she was people speculated that this would be a character in this season. Corey, talk a little bit about Agatha Harkness, and then we'll actually get into the episode. And how she relates to Mephisto, of course.
Oh God, Mephisto. Let's start the Mephisto count.
Well, she's one of she's not an inherently evil character. She's like kind of like more in the gray area, but she's Wanda's mentor. She's the one who, kind of gets her off on the foot of really blossoming her powers. From what I remember, she loses a child, I think her son or something, childbirth or something like that, and she sells her soul to Mephisto. So I don't know if that's where they're going with that. It's
Mephisto.
The one thing that I thought was,
JP, are you raising your hand?
No, I'm counting every time someone says the word.
Oh.
The one thing that I thought was interesting is that bunny keeps coming up, and she keeps referring to the bunny as her son, and you never see Ralph. So I wonder if they are playing off that, where, she's doing all this for a specific reason, and, she is pulling the strings, how she explains she is, but she's not the one pulling her strings. So.
Wait, I thought she calls the rabbit Senor Scratchy. I haven't heard the son.
We have a dog on the podcast in JP. Is it in your room anymore? Is Rusty in your room anymore?
No, he just came in and then left.
Well, we have got Doug. We've got Doug's dog now. This is exciting. And a cameo.
Yeah.
Who is that?
They
Is
breed
that
dogs.
is that Chuck or
It's
Gideon?
Chuck. Yeah, it's
Chuck.
Chuck.
Hey, Chuck.
Welcome to Live Breathe Film.
It's our Live Breathe Film mascot, Chuck. Yeah, she doesn't.
But yeah, I've always heard the rabbit called Senor Scratchy.
Yeah, she doesn't refer to the rabbit as her son, but she basically says multiple times that like it's like not her offspring, but like her kid, I guess. So I don't know. That's just a theory of mine. But I mean, they tease so much shit with her throughout this entire season, which we talked about with like her witch hat, the
witch
laugh,
outfit.
the laugh.
That's a Catherine Hahn's laugh.
Yeah.
You can watch like
Yeah,
half
I
of the
guess.
things she's been in, and she has a ridiculous laugh.
Well, so it's well casted then.
Yes, she's very well casted.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I still don't really. I don't know where it's going. I mean, we'll see.
I couldn't tell. It kind of felt like Disney was like, "Oh, we're removing we've got this big reveal. We're revealing that, gotcha, like this Agnes character was Agatha Harkness this entire time," and it was like, I was kind of just like, yeah, we've been like hearing that now since before the show started. It's just kind of like
the fans
this is
are
the
very
worst
vocal.
kept secret.
The fans are very vocal.
Yeah, this doesn't
Nearly
feel like
impossible to keep a reveal.
Yeah.
In the age of Reddit and just the internet.
The one thing I will say now is if Mephisto ends up being involved
5 times.
I don't think
5 times.
I'm wondering now if he's not even going to be. They'll tease the shit out of him in this show, and then he'll end up being maybe the big bad of Doctor Strange.
Yeah, that's what he's rumored to be.
Yeah, I feel like it's They're
But I don't
on-
know if he's. That doesn't mean he's the big bad of Phase 4. It means he
No.
could be the villain in Doctor
Exact-
Strange too.
Yeah, yeah. The big bad of Doctor Strange would be cool if he was the big bad of Phase 4, but who knows at this point. But that's kind of where my brain is going now.
Was anyone else really underwhelmed with this this reveal? Because I feel like the misdirection that they tried when Vision boops her into reality and she does that whole thing, I felt like it just seems stupid. It was like a bad misdirection.
I was more annoyed because it was so obvious when she was trying to get her away from Rambo.
Yeah.
And like I was like, okay, it's clear that she's fucking bad. Like you don't have to go into a creepy fucking basement for this reveal to be announced. It was announced the moment she started acting really strange.
Yeah.
But I feel
when
like
Wanda was
reveal
finally
itself.
starting to connect with someone.
I hated the misdirection that they tried to pull, which was seemingly useless, and it was all like when they went back and showed it, it was just all like it wasn't the same scene. It was just her doing blatantly obvious things, and then her pretending to put on a face right before Vision showed. Like that didn't even need to happen.
I just felt like it was just the hammy nature of and tropey nature, not even hammy, tropey nature of the show that they were trying to do it in that way. I don't know if
I liked the reveal. I liked her little opening scene where it's like, it's been Agnes all along. I liked that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. You're
I
talking about like the song?
Yeah. It just seemed like lazy cover up. They could have just like let it go with her acting strange the whole time and not try and downplay that she's not her. But and then, the fan service at the end would have been nicer, but
what did you guys think of the mockumentary aspect of the episode?
I thought that was cool.
Didn't work for me.
No? I
It could have been better. It could have been better, is what I would say. I thought Paul Bettany was great.
Yeah, those scenes were hilarious with him.
And I thought Elizabeth Olsen did a really good, like Julie Bowen from Modern Family, but it could have been better.
It just wasn't funny, a lot of it. Like Modern Family is funny. I don't know. That was like the big difference for me. And like they did the same, like they recreated it, and it was just like it's not funny. So I don't know. To me, this is actually my least favorite episode. I didn't really like
agree.
the Vision stuff. Like, yeah, it was definitely more humorous, but it was also like kind of felt pointless to go hang out with Vision and what's her face, Darcy being in the bubble. Like, I didn't need that. I didn't need Vision and Darcy hanging out together.
Dude, if they waited any long for him to touch her in the head, I was gonna like flip out. I'm like,
so annoying.
Like,
I know.
You can pull her out like immediately. Why are you fucking around?
Comedic value, I guess.
Well, they missed the mark
Yeah.
on comedic value.
I've never
The
watched
escape
Modern
artist.
Family, so this one was at least entertaining for me. But I could see like if watching Modern Family.
Well, I mean, I never did either, but it was very obvious that there's Office influences as well because the whole intro was The Office.
The intro was The Office, basically, music wise.
And then what's
It
his
was
face?
also the music wise, it was The Office.
Yeah,
What the title the look of it was kind of like Happy Endings, which wasn't a mockumentary.
That's what I've heard.
And then the title card was very much Modern Family.
Yeah, and
At the
then Vision does like a gym look to the camera a couple times.
Yeah.
With the whole, and it was very interesting.
Vision did a good John Krasinski.
He did.
Yeah.
I mean, once again, it's not Paul Bettany or Elizabeth Olsen that makes this show. They are not the weak points.
Yeah.
Even a bad episode, if you just had them in it and it was poorly written, I think it would still be a pretty damn good episode because they act circles around most of these other people.
Did you guys care at all about Monica Rambeau?
No.
Like becoming fully powered?
I mean, I was excited.
Yeah.
Why do I
So
care?
bad.
I was
There's no
I
reason-
just
there's no reason
three
for me to
times
care.
in this show. She like goes in, gets thrown out, goes back in, goes, Wanda, no, gets thrown out, comes back in with superpowers, and what happens? She gets thrown out again. She gets caught by fucking Evan Peters.
They needed to
She also
show
like
her journey.
superhero landed.
They needed to show what happened to her like after Captain Marvel. Like I don't have any like connection with her. She was a kid and then she's fucking okay. She's good at her job or something. She becomes a superhero,
Yeah.
but not like a very interesting way.
Do you think they're gonna try and push for her own show to do that?
Well, she's going to be in Captain
She'll
Marvel
be in
2.
Captain Marvel 2,
So
yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
they'll have some. I don't know when Captain Marvel 2. Well, it must take place around now because Ms. Marvel's in it. Unless they go the Avengers video game route and she's young, like a younger version of Ms. Marvel in the movie.
Yeah, could do
And
that.
it's kind of like it's kind of a prequel. But who knows?
Yeah.
I don't. The answer is I don't know.
I don't think any of us know. It's
No.
only the mouse can know.
I want more Evan
And
Peters.
Kevin Feige
Sorry,
whispered.
I said Paul Feig.
He whispers to
Paul
him.
Feig.
He whispers to Paul Feig too.
My wife noticed something very cool about this episode, and I didn't notice because I was like half watching, half listening. If you have the subtitles on, when the kid was complaining about his head being filled with voices and stuff, there are voices and there are random things being written in the subtitles that aren't audible.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Because she was
What are
watching it and she was saying these subtitles are not going with what she's saying. It's random things being like I think it's Wanda's internal monologue or like the things that she's creating people saying out in the world.
they?
So that was
Oh,
pretty
okay.
cool.
That's neat.
And then I like the throwback to everything bouncing through the different time periods.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was saying last week, like she's starting to lose control of it all and it's starting to bounce back between, the 70s and the 60s and all of that. And I thought that was pretty cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah. Well, we're in the end game now. I'm sure it has a bunch of surprises left to go. Make sure if you're watching, it's a Marvel thing. Watch fucking through the credits because we've already just seen this past
we
week
had a mid-credits.
that there was a mid-credit scene. So I would expect there to be more before it's all said and done over these next 2 episodes. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out and how it ties into Doctor Strange 2 and Spider-Man Who Says You Can't Go Home.
Yeah. Who says?
Spider-Man, I don't want to go home.
We can just keep going with Spider-Man home titles.
No more home.
There you go. Let's do it. Feature presentation. So we teased it at the start of the program. We are going into it right now. We are talking about award-winning nominated films that we're just not fans of. We didn't connect with them. We don't get the hype. And why they just did as well as they did. But it is award season, so it felt appropriate. So let's get into it now. We're just going to run through a bunch. No real order to any of this or anything like that. But Doug, start with Christopher Nolan's Dunkirk. I mean, you're a big Nolan fan. This one didn't do anything for you?
No, and this one I didn't put on the list, mainly because I don't.
My bad.
I put it on the list.
Mainly because I don't remember it that well, but yeah, it really didn't do
forgettable.
anything for me. And it may be because I didn't see this in theaters, so and I'm sure some of you guys did. This is one of the few Christopher Nolan movies I saw at home, and I read the reviews, and it got me super excited because everyone talked about like the music. The music makes this like the edge of your seat experiences. Like you have to see this movie, and I don't know. I just like didn't feel that way, and it could have very well been because I didn't have a theater experience with the complete surround sound, and the music just didn't completely take over. But I don't know, this movie, I didn't hate this movie, but to me it was just okay. And then Nolan's being cute with like the different time moving at different rates because that's what Nolan does, is messes with time.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Doug. I mean, I didn't see this in theaters either. I saw it, I watched it, I think Murph showed it to me for the first time, and then I watched it maybe one other time, and I liked it more the second time around, but it was still very much underwhelming for me. Visually, it was fantastic. The score was good, editing, all that stuff, action, but for me, it was incredibly difficult to follow. I had a hard time following it. And even the second time, I had a hard time following it. So I think for me personally, that's kind of why I don't really like it as much as his other films. But it's certainly unique. I do wish I saw it in IMAX. If it, for whatever reason, ever goes back into IMAX, I probably will give it another shot just to see it in that format.
Doug, why did you not see this one in theaters?
Not really sure.
Interesting.
I don't know.
I don't know why I
Easy.
didn't either. I don't.
JP, did we
It's
see it
like-
together?
I can't imagine because I have not seen this movie.
Yeah, I don't. I
All right. Well, I saw it in 70 millimeter, and yeah, I should have saw it in IMAX. And yeah, it didn't really connect with me. I own it, but it's still the one movie of his that just doesn't really work with me. I just got it because I was like, oh, I got 4K player. It's supposed to look really good on 4K. Let's check this baby out and see how it looks.
Is it
Does look
Harry
good.
Styles that ruins the movie for all you guys?
He's fine. He's barely in it.
Yeah, he was fine for me. Tom Hardy was fine.
Yeah, I mean the acting's fine, but nobody really gets much to do.
yeah.
Everyone's role is very just quick. Maybe Mark Rylance gets a decent amount to do as the one who's leading the ship to the civilian ship to try to take people home. But yeah, there's not much great acting in it, just
It's not
because
really
of the limited performances.
It's not really a character-driven story. It's
It's quick.
Yeah.
It's like
It's all kind of based around
Nolan's shortest movie, and it's shortest screenplay.
and it feels long to me.
Yeah, which is not good. That's a problem. All right, Gravity, another big blockbustery awards type movie.
Who here didn't like Gravity?
Kind of defies Gladiator. I'm also wasn't a big Gladiator fan. Or
Gravity?
sorry, I'm a big Gladiator fan. I'm sorry.
JP's like.
I'm a big fucking Gladiator fan. I love that
You
movie.
lied to us at the beginning. Of the show.
Plot
Gravity.
twist.
Surprise!
I'm not a big
Plot
Gravity
twist.
fan.
Yeah, I didn't care for this movie either.
And it was not. I saw it in 3D because it was supposed to be the big 3D movie, also post Avatar.
And this is
Yeah, I mean,
Alfonso Cuarón, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and I love his movies. This is one I just did not like.
It was like Castaway in space, and there was a lot of other good space movies that followed immediately after this, like Interstellar and The Martian.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, Gravity got the most love by awards people, and it did the least for me.
I thought the story was kind of garbage, but visually, I thought it was pretty cool. But I liked the 3D, so I also saw it in 3D and saw her floating around in space with George Clooney.
I remember people saying "Oh my god, this movie, the way it was shot, it made me feel so nauseous. It was so unique." And I don't know if it was because I didn't see it in theaters. I watched it on, I don't know, streaming or something, and I was like, "This is kind of boring and underwhelming."
Isn't this the one where when the camera's outside in space, there's no sound?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for them.
I mean,
Should
that's
win an
cool.
award just because of that.
It probably did win sound editing.
Yeah, I mean, it's very
I'm
unique.
sick of movies with sound in space. There's no sound in space, damn it. It's a vacuum.
I'm looking it up right now because it would not surprise me at all.
Which is the easiest thing in the world. All they have to do is hit the mute button every
Yeah.
single time
Yeah, it
they go.
doesn't seem
It-
award winning.
It won sound editing and sound mixing.
Hell yeah. Good for that person that hit the mute button when they were mixing this movie together.
Oh
They were
yeah,
like,
this
you are a
was
champion.
this was one that was dominating in the technical awards
Yeah.
for the night.
It
And then
looks
even
pretty.
Alfonso Cuarón won Best Director.
Mm-hmm.
But then what won? 12 Years a Slave, I want to say.
Maybe. I think that's accurate. I'm trying to think what else came out that year.
I'm pulling it up right now. It was 12 Years a Slave. A lot of good movies. Captain Phillips, American Hustle, Her, Nebraska, Wolf of Wall Street, Dallas Buyers Club, Philomena. Solid group of nominees.
Hot take: American Hustle's a bad movie.
I also am not a big American
Yeah, I
Hustle
didn't like
fan.
American Hustle.
Really?
It's a bad movie.
I like that movie a lot.
It's a metaphor for a bad movie.
It's a bad movie.
I also haven't rewatched it recently, so maybe my tune will change too. But I always like.
I also got
Cast, bad movie.
I also got bit by my dog the day after I saw it.
It's
So
also
that
a
was
bad luck movie.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't see Anchorman 2 that weekend. We were gonna go see it that day, and I was like,
Right.
I got bit by my
Saves
dog.
you.
I know. We saw it like a
Dog
week
saves you.
later.
Horrible
And I had a
movie.
patch on my eye. But yeah, man, American Hustle not that great. All right. Who's a fan of Queen? And I don't
love
mean the
Queen.
Queen. I mean the band Queen.
Yeah, I love Queen and Remy Malek.
Everyone except for Doug is a fan of the band Queen.
This is.
I mean,
Doug,
I
you don't like Queen, the
dislike
band?
Queen.
Well, then why are
I
you raising your
dislike
hand? I asked you about the band.
Not the
All right, there you go. There you go. Now, who's a fan of Bohemian Rhapsody?
I like it.
Not my Freddie Mercury.
No.
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Well, yes, but Sacha Baron Cohen would have been way better, but that also would have been a way different movie. Way different.
I don't
It
understand.
would have been good.
I like this movie.
I don't
for what it
understand.
is.
I don't understand all the love that this movie got as being a biopic, because it's basically every fucking biopic I've ever seen.
Crammed into one.
Story-wise, it's like the exact same movie I've seen 1,000 times. Rami Malek does a fine job mouthing the lyrics to the Freddie Mercury, which I get, like, not a singer. But I was just didn't find anything special about this movie, and I thought it was surprising that Bohemian Rhapsody got so much love, and Rocket Man, which I thought was way better, got like pretty much ignored.
Yeah, Rocket Man was a way more exciting biography.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
in every way, shape, or form.
Taron Egerton,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
Like sang, like that was him singing.
Yep.
Yeah, and it was the same director. Like after Bryan Singer didn't get to come back, or he quit, or whatever the fuck happened with him, the dude who ended up directing Rocket Man did the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I think
I don't get it.
For Bohemian Rhapsody, for me, I really wanted them to explore more about Freddie Mercury, which was what they were planning on doing with the Sacha Baron Cohen film, and they decided not to go that route. They glossed over some things, but
they didn't want to get as explicit as Sacha Baron Cohen wanted to get into.
Which I think would have been
that are still alive.
Would have been way more interesting, but I think the band probably didn't want. I think the band had a lot of say in what ended up in.
They did.
Movie.
They had too much say.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, way too much. But at the same token, I guess they kind of have the right. It's not like Queen was just Freddie Mercury. Every single one of them in the band wrote a top song.
Yeah,
which they made clear in Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
But perhaps if everyone in the band was dead, it'd be a very different movie.
Yeah, Sacha Baron Cohen wanted to do a Freddie Mercury biopic. He did not want to do a Queen biopic. And obviously Roger Taylor and Brian May wanted to do a Queen biopic where they get love as well, which I don't blame them for wanting that. No. And you also can't fault them for not wanting to show their bad side when they are still a very successful rock band that sell out stadiums around the world, or arenas around the world. Yeah, with Adam Lambert. So
I'm sure one day we'll get that, but hopefully, it's unfortunate that we didn't get, with Sacha Baron Cohen.
Well, we got Borat too.
That's true.
Yeah,
that was pretty sweet. All right, Manchester by the Sea.
Sad sack.
Sad sack by the sea. Casey Affleck in the most miserable movie in the world. I actually like this movie a lot and think it's very funny, despite being very dark. The subject matter is very bleak. But yeah, we have a running joke amongst our friends. Me and two of our other friends, saw it like, I don't know, like right before Christmas. So we're like, yeah, let's go see a movie like around the holidays. And we saw this movie where Casey Affleck's he accidentally burns his kids to death, like gets divorced from his wife, attempts to kill himself in a police station. Like, so much bad stuff happens.
Real funny movie, Murph.
The screenplay
Laugh
has
a minute.
the
Murph's like,
screenplay
"There's some
has
silver lining."
the screenplay has lots of jokes in it. It was a very deft screenplay. But yeah, I don't know who put this on the list. Because I didn't.
Not I.
I did just because I don't. I didn't. I was just kind of. It's a sad movie. It kind of just ends sort of abruptly.
I don't
Just
remember how it
kinda-
ended.
I don't really remember how it ended either. Just that it was abrupt, and I remember like looking at my wife and being like, "Is the movie over? Like that's it?"
But it's so
Kinda-
sad.
Kind of reminded me of that basketball movie with Ben Affleck, where it's just like
The Way Back.
it's over. Yeah, The Way Back.
That's a good movie.
I mean, sometimes life just continues to go on. There's not some grand finale.
Yeah, but that's life, not a movie.
I don't know. It works in movies sometimes.
Didn't work
like
for
when
me.
we all thought Gone Girl ended.
Forrest
abruptly.
Gump doesn't have some exciting ending. He's just continuing to live his Gump life.
Yeah, I don't like that movie either.
We know that, Doug.
Wow.
Yeah,
Should
I
include
didn't
it.
want to put it on the list because I didn't want to.
That would have been a movie
Start.
for like our opening segment, but you disagree, so we had to go with a consensus pick of Gladiator.
I mean, can we all just bully Doug right now for not liking Forrest Gump?
I
How
don't get
dare
it.
you?
I don't get it.
He's
Um,
endearing. He warms the hearts of all of America.
And what about Lieutenant Dan? Lieutenant Dan is also endearing.
And what about Bubba Gump Shrimp Company?
It's a great restaurant with great food.
I like Tom Hanks. It's just not my favorite Tom Hanks role.
I mean, that's fair. The dude's been in like
Sure, yeah.
20 plus classics.
Yeah.
All right. But did you find Manchester by the Sea funny, or is it just me? Am I really dark?
I've never seen it.
I don't remember laughing a lot at that movie, so it might just
All right,
be
well,
you.
You might be a sick son of a bitch.
Murph's sitting
I
there in the
definitely
theater
laughed
like,
more.
First,
than-
like, oh, he's trying to kill himself. That's hilarious.
I didn't laugh at
He's like,
that.
kids,
That wasn't funny. Those scenes weren't funny. Those scenes were like, oh, I get why people think this movie's dark, because that's dark. But no, I also can imagine if you're watching it with your wife and like she's not enjoying it, that you're not going to be able to enjoy it as much as you would if you were just watching it by yourself. Am I right?
Or
am I wrong?
I might have enjoyed it more maybe
Because
if I
here,
had.
because when we saw Uncut Gems, I was sitting next to your wife, and I couldn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to because I knew how badly she didn't like it.
Well, we also
So-
you also
You guys
talked her-
enjoyed
talked them
Uncut
into-
Gems?
I mean, I enjoy that movie.
I did, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I would have if I was just like watching it with like people that were like all in on it. But when I'm like looking to my right and I'm like seeing Julia and Doug like miserable, I'm like, well, this isn't the best way to see a movie.
I'm a sucker for uncomfortable films like that.
Yeah,
No.
but yeah, go back to what you were saying, Doug.
Um,
I don't think you were
I
saying.
don't
anything.
remember what I was saying.
All right, we're done then talking about Manchester by the Sea. Who is the horrible human being who put The Social Network on this list?
I love that movie.
I did, but it was mainly just it was just mainly a troll.
It was to rile me up.
It was just a rally. Yeah,
It's a flawless movie, though.
Murph is triggered now.
It's fine. It's a decent movie.
A son of a bitch.
the gloves
for-
are-
I don't love it.
Decent.
I don't find it to be the masterpiece that you do, Murph. But that was just to troll you,
Is it Justin
Okay.
just to
Timberlake?
piss you off.
Is it Justin Timberlake? Is that why you don't like it?
I don't mind Justin Timberlake. It's probably Jesse Eisenberg. He just like doesn't do it for me.
But he is like the perfect Mark Zuckerberg.
Maybe.
All right. The silence is getting deafening. But yes, Social Network was robbed of Best Picture at the Oscars by The King's Speech.
Yep.
Fine movie, but no Social Network.
No.
And offended that this was on here. And let's move on. All right. I know who added this because I added this. Mulholland Drive, directed by the odd human being that is David Lynch. First half did it for me, and then the second half was just weird as shit and
Yep.
like
Typical.
very strange. I mean, David Lynch was nominated for Best Director for this, so clearly people thought he was doing things right. Not the average person. That if you show this movie to any average Joe on the street, like they'd be like disgusted. If you any like red state person, basically anyone outside of New York City and LA would be like, what the fuck am I watching? Corey, you are a big David Lynch fan, and you've probably seen this movie. What am I missing?
In all honesty, I like this movie a lot, but it's not my favorite movie of his. It's actually not even one of my favorites. I do not like the second half of the movie as well. I think it's very jarring. It's a lot to unpack. I mean, the turn that the movie goes in it's one of those movies that you absolutely 100% need to watch at least twice to get to make a definitive decision on it. Regardless if you watch it, a week later again or a few months later, whatever, a few years. It's something that you need to see a second time because you pick up on like a lot of things that connect the weirdest shit second half of that movie. But it's definitely like one of his probably the strangest written films that he's done, I think.
I know I've said this before, that sometimes you need to see a movie a second time to like it. I said it, or to get more of it. Like I said it when Tenet came out.
Mm-hmm.
But don't you fucking not want to hear that when you watch something that you don't like?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you got to watch it a second time.
Oh,
I was just going to say
and then you'll get it.
I'm not specifically. I didn't mean like you have to see it a second time to decide if that you like it. You probably there's a lot of people that have seen it twice and don't like it still. I just think that to make an informed decision for this movie specifically, you need to see it a second time. That's it.
I get like having to see a movie the second time to get a deeper understanding of it, but if you have to see a movie more than once to really have an idea of what went on, it's a shitty movie. Like, if it's a good movie, you should be able to have the whole thing presented to you to at least have a general understanding of what happened in one sitting. If it's so fucking convoluted and poorly written that you have to watch it a second time to get it, I don't care how good a movie is, it's still, in my mind, a shitty movie.
I think it's just the way that he presented the second half of the movie. It's so hard to even explain.
Just was so different from the first half.
Yeah. He does that a lot in his other stuff where he like subverts things and like tries to jar the audience and make them think, like force them to think about the characters in a completely different way. And it's very forceful and it is jarring, but I think this is probably the most extreme case because I've seen all of his other movies and they're not, that arc isn't as extreme. Like he's made movies that are just completely fucking off the rails weird from beginning to end, which is fine because it's off the rails from beginning to end. This movie, it had like a very sharp turn that I can understand why a lot of people don't like it.
JP, did you finish Twin Peaks yet?
No, and I still don't have a desire to be perfectly honest.
Missing out, JP.
Yeah, I don't think I am.
How far it? What we just talked about with the two having to see something twice. It's kind of similar to like when we were talking about Twin Peaks earlier this year, where it's like, well, you got to get like this much further for you to like start to really get it or appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean,
how far did you get?
I have absolutely no idea because I
Beginning
couldn't
of season
discern
2,
when
I think. Right?
it was beginning of season 2, but I have no fucking idea when season 2 began.
Yeah.
Because it just kept going, and it's the exact same storyline. Like nothing changes between seasons. It's weird.
True.
It's like I don't want to read a book in a completely different language for like 1,000 pages and try and figure out what the fuck's going on, and then like in the last half of the book it translates it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, it's like reading a book backwards and then being like, oh, to really get it, you have to read the book forwards.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't like David Lynch. Just
I mean,
based on what I've
different
seen.
different strokes for different
Yeah.
folks.
The one thing I will
Yeah.
say about this movie is I feel like and I might correct myself at some other point, but the cast, you got, Naomi Watts, you have Robert Forster, I think Justin Theroux's in this.
Oh yeah, he was.
A lot of
All
these
I really remember was Naomi Watts. I
Yeah.
mean, she was good. She was really good in it.
Yeah, a lot of these actors, it was their first time, I think, working with him, and they've, they sweared by him and like pop up in a lot of other pictures of his or things of his. So Laura Dern is another one, but she's not in this. I don't remember her being in it.
Yeah.
But,
All
Why
right.
did I think Tim Robbins was in this movie?
I would love to know what movie you're thinking of.
yeah,
I have no idea.
this would be a movie that he would be in actually, but he's not in it.
I think are you thinking Mystic River? Because that was on our list originally. It seems
I
like
don't think so.
it was removed. I'm guessing
It's
that was
probably gonna be
that was
something really
a Doug
stupid.
pick. I'm guessing.
No, I didn't. I wasn't against Mystic River. Although
Did someone put on Mystic River? Did I imagine it was on here?
No, I think it's because
It might have been a fever
bonus.
dream.
It's the bonus
Aha,
film
yes.
series.
Spoiler alert: we will be talking about Mystic River for our 2003 yearly film series. Okay. Let's move on to the next movie. Spielberg. Obviously, we're big fans of Steven Spielberg. He's had a slew of amazing films over the years. One that didn't connect with me was, and I think the only one of his movies that I've seen that has not connected with me of like 20 something was Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Well, no, I'm lying because I hate Hook. But one that had good reviews and was like nominated for a lot of things that I didn't connect with was Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Hook's reviews were pretty good, actually.
No, they were. We discussed this. We went through the Rotten Tomatoes. We can find the episode if we need to.
There's this user Doug that seemed to really enjoy it.
But yeah, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Just that one, like I had seen it. I don't know, maybe in the past 10 years after I'd seen plenty of his other things and loved the dude for 20 something years, and it just did nothing for me. Like I was very disappointed because I expected like a classic and did not get that, which is like, I don't know, if you're like a film fan and you're like seeing one of your favorite directors' movies and one of them that's supposed to be like one of their top tier movies, and it like lets you down, not even where you don't enjoy it, but where you really didn't like it, that sucks. Has anyone else seen this one?
I haven't.
I've seen most of it.
Yeah, I think I have too.
It's probably one of those things that you had to see it when it came out.
I thought you were going to say you have to see it twice. And I was going to be like,
Probably gotta see
you
it
son of a
twice.
bitch.
You got to read the novel. You gotta check out the companion graphic novel that goes along with it,
and then you'll understand it.
Yeah, no, it's probably one of those things that, in the time frame that it came out is probably a bit more impactful than seeing it, in the 2000s or the late 1990s. I don't know, because you'd probably have to ask someone that saw it in theaters.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I get what you're saying. It's not. It doesn't feel like a Spielberg caliber movie.
And it doesn't even feel like it doesn't have like the heart of a Spielberg movie either. Like usually you're dealing with like the families like come together at the end and shit like that. And this one, he's like, "I'm good, family. I'm going up with the aliens later."
kind of
It's just
stuck down here.
yeah, like it's just very
Bye.
different from E.T. It's very different from like War of the Worlds. Like he's done a bunch of alien movies, but in those two movies, the families, as messed up as they are collectively, they're come together by the end. In this one, it's not like that at all.
Yeah. Don't forget his most famous alien movie, which is Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Yeah.
Well,
I
technically,
forgot
aren't
that.
they? Aren't they like interdimensional beings? They're not
I mean,
really
technically, but they're
extraterrestrials.
aliens, so yeah, they're
They do
aliens.
look very much like an alien
Yeah.
that we've seen in mainstream media.
So I have a question for you two, JP and Murph. What is less of a Spielberg movie, Close Encounters, or AI? It feels less like a Spielberg movie because I remember AI feeling exactly that way, where I was like, this doesn't feel like a Spielberg movie. I haven't seen it in a
I
very long
mean,
time, but
it's a good question because AI was supposed to be a Stanley Kubrick movie.
right.
He developed it, and then when he passed away after Eyes Wide Shut, Spielberg took over and kind of put his touch on it. They are such polar opposite directors. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kubrick's like super cold and like detached from everything, and Spielberg's like his heart is just in everything that he touches, and you can see it on the screen. So like combining those two things, like it was interesting. But I actually thought AI was more of a Spielberg movie.
I don't remember AI.
I don't remember much
That
I
of it.
remember there was a bear. Right?
There was a bear. There was
teddy
a
bear.
robotic bear. Yeah,
Yep.
That's one I have to
That's about all I
revisit.
remember.
I think I'd appreciate AI a lot more as an adult than um, seeing it back when I think in middle school. I mean, that was a long drama to be when we saw it in middle school, and
Isn't
like
that
we
3
were
hours?
by the last like half an hour, I think we were like fucking around and being assholes in the movie theater.
Is that the movie? That's the movie that ends with like the aliens, right? Again.
Yes, there are aliens. Spielberg is a big fan of aliens.
Loves his aliens.
He loves aliens. He loves World War II. Those are his two things.
Yeah.
Kind of cool if you combine those two things.
Yeah.
Aliens in World War II.
Yeah,
I mean,
I would love to see that.
that'd be pretty dope. I mean, he hasn't really done any sort of like anything non-serious in relation to World War II, I guess, since Schindler's List. Like prior to that, like obviously the Indiana Jones movies, like he had comedic Nazis and stuff like that. I know he's not like about that anymore, but if you can figure out a way to do it where it's not about Nazis, I don't know how you would do that.
Well, I mean, like Nazis are known to be very like into the occult and stuff like that.
Yeah, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah. You bring aliens into it, and I mean, if you want something that's not funny, I mean that would be something that's definitely not funny.
Yeah, I mean it'd be cool. I would love to see that.
That's why Hellboy 1's so good. That opening is just fucking fantastic.
Yep, agreed. All right, two more. The Artist. This was a movie
formerly known as.
Yeah, exactly. Prince reference. But yeah, this movie was just a movie where you could smell like Hollywood just smelling its own ass. You could, all right, you watch them smelling their own ass or smelling their own farts? Like this movie it's black and white. It's silent. It's got tons of dance numbers. It's foreign made. It is just everything that like fucking stuffy Hollywood people want to see in a movie, and it is not surprising at all that it won Best Picture. I would look through all like Best Picture winners the past 30 years, just like see what was on there, and this was the only one that stuck out. It's like, what were you thinking? I think this is going to go down.
So pretentious.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't even like it's a well-made movie. It's just like it did not deserve to be a Best Picture winner, or anything like that. Like what? Let me see what year it won Best Picture for. The Artist 2011. So let's see who did it beat that it didn't deserve to beat.
It wasn't that year though. It would have been 2010, I think, because King's Speech was 2011. Or maybe it came
Go to
out a year
history.
later.
Academy Award for Best Picture. There we are. It beat. Okay. It beat The Descendant.
Moneyball.
The Descendants, Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close, The Help, Hugo, Midnight in Paris, Moneyball, The Tree of Life, and War Horse. So it beats a Steven Spielberg movie. It beat a Martin Scorsese movie. It beat a Woody Allen movie before everyone hated Woody Allen. It beat an Alexander Payne movie. Fucking Terrence Malick movie. Like, some big movies. And Moneyball. Awesome movie by Ben Miller.
Fantastic movie.
Like, oh, just a strange pick. Am I the only one who's seen it?
I've never seen it.
Haven't seen it.
It doesn't look like something I would watch, though.
Yeah, it looked a little too pretentious.
You'd hate
like a
it,
fever
JP.
dream. Yeah, no, I would definitely hate it.
You'd fucking hate it. Every minute of it. And I wouldn't blame you. But yeah, all right. And last but not least, we started with the show, well, not the beginning of the show, but very close after it, talking about David Fincher. I got on here, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, the one David Fincher movie that just did not work for me.
Yo, why are you all picking on David Fincher? This is the third David Fincher movie you're picking on for this show. I guess we didn't pick on the first one, but we mentioned it.
Doug is
Wait,
the
which
one
was,
that doesn't...
what did we, which one did we mention?
Social Network.
Social Network.
Yeah, Doug's the one who doesn't.
Oh yeah, Doug included that, but he was trolling us.
Y'all need to recognize that his films are perfect and deserve all sorts of nominations and awards.
It was just his one movie where it like felt like an award movie, like it's spanning someone's entire life. Brad Pitt, like great.
I mean,
like $100 million movie to make. It just seemed like a very art house, big budget. We're trying for all the awards. I mean, and it was nominated for 10 plus Academy Awards. So clearly it connected with people, which is why it's on this list. You liked it, JP?
I fucking love it. Yeah.
Oh shit!
I remember being in the theater and just being so emotionally invested in this movie. It sort of felt. It wasn't the level of emotional investment I had in like Big Fish, which was another one of those weird supernatural like
Big Fish was great.
Pulling your heartstrings. It felt very similar in the way that like I was so bought in, and it's Fincher, it's Brad Pitt, it's like the perfect storm of a movie that I would love.
I think I know what the problem was. I'm pretty sure I was sitting next to Freeberg and his wife, and
they were enjoying it.
And I knew how much they did not like it.
You gotta stop sitting next to people in these movie theaters.
It was Rob's birthday. We went to Hula Hands and then decided to go see a 2.5 hour movie that is not up his wife's alley at all.
No.
I think that was the problem. I think I need to go back and watch this movie again.
Kate Blanchett's so fucking good in this movie, and Tilda Swinton does her thing, and it's just Brad Pitt.
Taraji P. Henson was nominated for Best Supporting Actress.
It is such.
She was like an unknown person at the point in time when this movie came out.
Yeah, I remember liking it. It's been so long since I've seen it. Probably when we saw it in theaters. I think that might have been when I.
And it was also, if I believe I'm correct with this, right in between Zodiac and The Social Network, which are absolutely my two favorite Fincher movies. So that might have also been a problem.
I think it's got a similar case, and I was thinking about this weekend too for some reason. Is the Edgar Wright movies you get Shaun of the Dead, you get Hot Fuzz, and then World's End comes out, and you're like lukewarm on it. But the more you watch World's End, it's a fantastic movie.
Yeah, that movie is incredible.
So I think you need to rewatch this one.
Yeah, I think I do. And I need to not go see movies with the
people and their spouses.
People and their spouses.
Or
my friends and their spouses.
Go see them with people that might enjoy the movie.
Yeah. Like if I was sitting next to you, JP, and next to whoever else we saw it with that enjoyed it, I probably would have liked it a lot more.
Yeah.
All right. But that's all we got for award-winning nominated movies that we're not fans of. We've talked a lot about things we don't like on this podcast. More so often we talk about things that we really do like, but sometimes it's just fun to rag about things. I mean, obviously, these movies were well made. They wouldn't be making money and be nominated and winning awards, but sometimes they just don't work for us. Yeah, except for the artists. Sometimes they just don't work for us. So, no harm, no foul. Ultimately, it's not the end of the world if we don't appreciate every single piece of film that comes out. But
if you
yeah,
disagree with us, yell at us in the comments. Let us know.
For sure.
You might get one of us to watch the movie again.
Exactly. And yeah, let us know any movies that you didn't like that ended up being something that was nominated for a ton of awards or won a ton of awards. We'd love to hear it. But yeah, the Golden Globes are this coming Sunday on NBC, I believe. So we are definitely going to be talking in our upcoming episode what we think about the winners for this year. Yeah, that's it for that. So that is all we have for today. Thanks as always for listening. Just a reminder that our yearly film series, which I spoiled one of the entries for earlier, and I also spoiled one of the entries on Instagram before in a comment.
It's called the Tasteful Tease.
Yeah, we like to give you an idea of what you're getting yourselves into. It's its own segment. Check it out on YouTube. If you subscribe to our channel, you'll get notifications. Obviously, if you subscribe to us on Twitch, get a notification when we're live. You can see it live when we record the episode. I think I got a text during this, so we had, I think, 5 people watching.
Five whole people.
We got
5 people.
Let's go.
We are moving up in the world. I think our last episode we had a whopping 1.
Gaggle
of
viewers.
No, we had a couple people watching. It's always a fun time.
There we go.
Hang out.
It's
talk
always
shit about what we're talking about and chat.
Exactly.
It's great.
Except
One
when
time-
Doug,
throw us off
except
while
when
we're
Doug
recording.
Put Social Network on the list. That's not fun.
Seriously.
Thanks, Doug.
Well, you can get pissed.
It's kind of fun to watch Murph's face. I enjoyed it.
He's genuinely offended.
You won. You won this battle, Doug. But yeah, that's what we got. What's our one for next week? Do you guys have any idea what we're talking about next week?
I don't know.
I feel like we're talking about. I feel like
coming soon.
Yeah, I know we got that coming up soon. We got some exciting stuff coming up. I want to just run through just so we give people an idea of what they're missing when they don't listen. Yeah, next week we got. Well, our next one, we don't necessarily know if it'll be next week. But franchises we want a long-awaited follow-up to, because Coming to America is coming out. We've got recasting movies. This is an exciting one that we've talked about. That's going to require a lot of thinking, where we put people that we think would be a good fit for a movie in a movie that has already come out. Director cuts we'd want to see in honor of the Snyder Cut.
Hey.
Bad movies that we like. So a reverse situation of today.
Pretty much any movie I enjoy. All bad movies.
Yeah. And then our dream versus movies in honor of Godzilla versus Kong. Some other matchups we'd like to see on the silver screen between legends. But yeah, that's why you should be listening to this, because we got a lot of fun things to talk about over the next month and next month. And we'll have plenty more after that. So, as always, this has been Corey, Doug, JP, and Murph at Live Breathe Film. We'll be back next week or maybe the week after that. We'll let you know when we know. And we hope you are too at that point in time. Have a good one.
See ya.